Welcome back, everyone, to episode 25 of They Fly Now. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite Star Wars character, Ezra Bridger, with some awesome, amazing Ezra fans. So let's just get right into it.
They fly now! They fly now!
We're live.
Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We knew whenever we're doing Ezra that you two were like the best when it came to him. So thank you guys for joining us. Just to kind of start us off, let's just go around saying who are you, where can we find you and your amazing content, and what season of Ezra is your favorite? And let's go to Reagan first.
All right. Hi, my name is Reagan. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter, Reagan Bridger. And my favorite season of Ezra has to be season 3. There's just so much of Ezra in that season. It's just amazing.
I agree. I feel like the most character development happens between 2 and 3.
Yes.
He's just like, he goes from being like a little kid to like a badass in season 3. But no, that's awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, Gray, same thing to you.
Hi, I'm Gray from Donna the Gray on TikTok. And my favorite Bridger season would be season 4.
Solid.
I just like, he seems like he's almost a full-blown Jedi, you know. He has come so far, and it just shows how much he's grown. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah. Season 3 and I feel like season 1 and 2, he's a lot more, I don't want to say childish, but kind of childish, and then he finally starts to like really develop. But we'll get into that later on in the episode. But before we start talking about Ezra in season 1, so how we're going to do it is we're going to start just going to kind of go season by season, and then at the very end of the episode we're going to just talk about our predictions with him. So let's shout out the chat real quick. Thank you guys all for joining us. We got Darth Man, Ace Bronx, Podswan Podcast, which if you guys have not checked them out already, they release some great content, and we actually do every Friday night. We do a Podswan Podcast, They Fly Now crossover, where we do about a 2-hour live stream talking about the recent episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Last week's was really, really fun, and you guys should totally go check them out. So that's over there on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We go live there talking about the recent episode of Book of Boba Fett, X-Core Gamer Skills. We got Cal Fourier, Kieran Barr, Star Wars Lawyer, Aiden Talk Star Wars Topics. Yeah, thank you guys all for joining. But yeah, so
An echo?
Sorry.
I know you're good.
you're good. You're all good.
I was like,
I was
scared
trying to
me.
close the chat, and it just went off. I'm so sorry. I thought I had my volume
no,
down.
you're good. It happened.
You're all good.
That scared me.
I was just wondering. I was like, did I have a tab open and I just didn't know about it?
Sorry.
Cal says, how do you say the word horror?
Because you keep saying Cal horror, like horror. It's Cal 4. Like 4, like the letter 4, or the number 4.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, Cal. Let's see. What's the chat saying? Kieran's saying, I'm choosing Ezra after he marinates with Thrawn. What's up? Cal, I'm choosing. Darth Man says he's choosing Ezra season 3. So much growth in that season alone. I would have to agree. Anything else? No. So yeah, thank you guys all for joining us. Ezra's my favorite Star Wars character, and Reagan, I'm sure it's yours. Gray.
Yes.
He's my
Same thing to
favorite
you.
Jedi.
So then, who's your favorite character?
Ahsoka.
If it
Oh.
Okay.
Wait. Oh.
I mean, with all the Ahsoka pops in the back.
Yeah.
And the Ahsoka tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah,
wanna
and
show
Ahsoka
that off.
statues and her
Yeah,
lightsaber and
there's no way.
yeah.
So do you have the Disney version of her lightsaber, or Like where'd you get it from?
The Black series, it's right there.
Oh,
Okay.
that's amazing.
That's cool.
Black series has been getting better lately.
They have been, yeah. I forget who it was. Someone had Ray's gold lightsaber.
I believe it was Brooke.
Brooke.
Stardust M had some.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
that.
which-
I would love that one.
Yes.
It's really cool.
It's actually
Well,
my
shout out to
favorite
Brooke.
lightsaber.
Oh, agreed. It's so cool.
Yeah, same here. I like
Mhm.
that. I like the staple gun.
Yes.
I like both the staple gun and the other one, but I don't know,
Yeah.
the staple gun's so iconic. Which I
It
actually
is.
saw. I saw it at a Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys have ever held it. I felt so empowered. I was like, I'm holding Ezra's freaking lightsaber right now. It's so cool. But yeah, let's get into it. So, Ezra season 1. Well, I mean, when we first see him in season 1, he's just like this kid who has no one and is just scrounging around for food. And I would say this is the one time, I would say in the beginning of season 1 is the one time where you can say Ezra is like Space Aladdin.
Yes.
I would say is the
Yes.
one time. I don't agree when people say that because I don't, like, as it progresses, that's definitely not true. But definitely, I would say in season 1, and especially early season 1, we see a lot of Space Aladdin
I don't
type
like
of stuff.
that
with
comparison.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't like it
It
either. But-
diminishes what I love about Ezra. It puts him into like
Yes.
just a empty Disney character that I not, that I like the songs.
yeah, it like it really bothers me when people say that because that's not him. That's not the part that everyone who loves him thinks of whenever they think about Ezra. But what are your guys' kind of thoughts on Ezra, or at least season 1? We'll go to around like the midpoint of season 1. What are some of your guys' highlighted moments from Ezra? And we can just kind of go around. Gray, if you want to go first.
Season 1 it's not my particular favorite season for him. He's kind of whiny, like on the New Hope in the beginning with Luke Skywalker,
Mhm.
But I like that he's really ornery and doesn't want to join the Ghost Crew. He's
Yes.
he's just like really standoffish, and I like how he ends up being taken in by them and treated just like a little brother. Like Zeb treats him like a little brother. He's constantly like picking on him and kicking him out of his room, and I just like how he became a part of the family in season 1.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, there's like the one scene where Zeb falls on top of him, and Ezra's like, "Get off me!" And he's like, "Why? Do I weigh too much for you?" And he's like, "No, you stink." It's really funny. Reagan, same thing to you.
Kind of going off what Gray said, I'm not fond of this Ezra, but like seeing like a bit of what like he's gone through in his past and everything, like that one episode when they appeared at his home and like everything, hearing all about his past, it's tough for him. He's been alone for all his life since he was like, I think like he was 7 when his parents were taken away. And then the Ghost Crew just adopts him and everything. And not only that, but Kanan takes an interest to him with his Force abilities and everything. And Ezra's like really doubting himself in this season, especially like, is he strong enough to protect his friends and stuff? And when he tackles into that dark side and everything, it's just, Ezra went through so much, but the Ghost Crew like adopted him and stuff and like show him the ways and everything like to help others in need. So yeah.
Yeah, then like and I think that's something that continues to develop as we keep going.
Yeah.
On with Ezra is like his relationship with the Ghost Crew, but especially in the beginning, it's a lot of him being like almost like the little brother to everyone. One episode that I love, and it's mainly with Zeb and Ezra, is when so Kanan and Hera are like, let's like go find Melu runs.
Oh, I love that. I love that episode.
I like that one too.
I love that episode.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we accidentally stole a TIE fighter, and Kanan's like,
Yeah,
you
what?
stole what?
he was gonna be mad about that, and then Kate was like, "Get rid of it," and they're both like, "Do we have to?" Like both like little kids like took their parents like, "Do we have to get rid of it?"
Like they're so surprised that they stole that in the first one, and as the seasons go on, they're just like, you can't take them anywhere. If anything, they're just like, oh, Ezra's there. Well,
Yeah.
How do I know Ezra's behind this?
Any episode, especially since that one part, and like going onward, and Kane or like anybody's just like, any problem, be like, "Yep, Ezra. That's yep."
And the best line of that is on the Malachor arc. You know, he's
Yes.
like, when the thing goes up, he's like, how do I know Ezra's behind this?
Yeah.
Let's see. We also have Ezra getting shocked by Chopper like 5 different times when they're on the ship.
Chopper just
the-
didn't like Ezra at first. He was just
No.
like, no. He was like,
Chopper doesn't like
what's-
anybody. He only likes Hereth.
well, yeah. And maybe a bit with Sabine. Like there's moments with him and Sabine. Yeah.
I think he doesn't care that much about Sabine. Like he doesn't pick on her. He doesn't like talk to her that much. He's just kind of there.
Yep.
I don't know because there's like in season 1, Ezra like tries to get with Sabine a few times.
Yeah.
Like
And
there's
doesn't Chopper make fun of him for it?
yeah, he's like
Yes.
no. He like slides in, and he like puts his arm up on the thing. He's trying to act all cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey Sabine, what you doing there?" And she's like, he's like, "You need any inspiration?" And she's like, "If I needed inspiration, it wouldn't be from you." And Chopper rolls away. He's like, wow. There's another time he tries to slide into Sabine.
It's like that episode when Hera and Sabine are like on that. That's another moment. They're like on the rock thing, and then when Sabine's like climbing up the ladder, Ezra's like, "Thanks for saving me back there," and she's like, "Don't read too much into that kid." And then Ezra's, and then Zeb's just like,
Yeah.
"It's okay."
But he definitely matures past that as he moves along and matures. Because I think he views her as like, oh, Sabine, like she's
Right
a
when he
good-looking
first took
girl,
off that
whatever.
helmet. Right when she first took off that helmet, he was like,
Damn. But then as he matures and as like the relationship with the Ghost Crew progresses, he doesn't really think the same way of her. We also find out some stuff about Ezra with the episode An Empire Day. And we find out that Ezra's birthday's Empire Day, which I thought was really, really cool.
"Yeah."
Which would mean, because him and Luke are almost the same.
They're
Like, almost
exactly the same age.
Like,
Yes.
a couple months,
Yeah.
maybe, like not by much.
Just like
I don't
months.
know.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
months? It's
I don't know. Someone said like a year, like he was a year apart from them or something.
Oh yeah, because it
I
was
don't
the
know.
following Empire Day. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the following Empire Day.
Yeah.
Malik in the chat basically was gonna do what I was gonna do next. All hail to the glorious empire! When Kate is like pretending to be drunk.
Oh yes! All hail to the glory. He's like, sorry, that's just my dad over there. He's like, all hail to the glorious empire.
Dad, what are you doing? I love that part in that episode.
Yes. And then he goes, so then like they also just kind of use him as since he's like the newest person, they just send him off on all the missions that they don't want to do. It's like they send them on the mission to infiltrate the Imperial Academy. And he has
Well,
to
I think
do all the
that's their
undercover
age
stuff
group
there.
specifically for the Imperial Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would make a lot of sense. Yeah, true. But then like there's just so many moments where he's the one that's, I guess because that's how small he is, but he's like always like climbing through the vents or
Yeah.
just doing
He's a
stuff that,
smaller
like,
guy. Ezra's a smaller guy. Even when
Yeah.
he's grown up, he's still kind of a smaller guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, moving on, season one kind of ends off on a pretty cool note because I think that's when we see the first lightsaber duel in Rebels versus the Grand Inquisitor versus Ezra and Kanan. So what are you guys' thoughts on that duel? Reagan, if you want to go first, you can.
I thought it was really cool and everything, like kind of like what Ezra's been trained for like all through this season to be a Jedi lightsaber train, and then he finally had that courage. Like in the Jedi Temple on that episode, he was facing all his fears with the Grand Inquisitors, and then he's finally faced that fear and got his Kyber crystal, and now he's truly facing it when he goes against the Grand Inquisitor, and just like, even though he fell, he still faced the Grand Inquisitor. He tried. He was walking and just, but the two scars were just, that was.
Yeah, those are always really cool. Like you said about the Kyber crystal, like he doesn't even know what that is. Like he's so
he was like, "Oh wow, wait, what is that?"
It's a lightsaber crystal. He's like, "What?"
That's how Luke would have been if he ever got his own Kyber crystal. He would have been like, "What even is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should. Well, there is that deleted scene of Luke building his lightsaber, which is always pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Like his green one.
And
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
I would say.
Oh, really?
God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like him, like before Jabba's house, like him, like it's not like him with the Force, just like screwing it together and like activating and just giving it to R2 quickly, and it just moves into the next scene.
Oh wow.
And like Vader tries like conducing him to the dark side, like it's the whole scene.
Yeah, but they cut it for whatever reason.
I mean,
I don't know why.
The suspense of R2 not having it, they wanted to keep the tension there.
Yeah. But without that, everyone's like, how the heck did R2 get that saber? But Gray, same thing to you. Like, your thoughts on that duel with...
Is this the end duel where the Inquisitor dies?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that duel. I especially love when Kanan is like, I have nothing left to lose. And he just like pummels the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah, Aiden was talking about that. He goes, he did the whole quote. He goes, "That was a mistake. Why? Because there's no one else for you to die? No, because I have nothing else to fear."
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You said the whole thing. You filled it out. Thank you. Yeah, I love that, and I think that makes that entire scene just really good.
It really.
Yeah, even the Grand Inquisitor's final words when he's like, "There are some things far." What is it? Something
far more frightening than death.
Yes. You're like, oh my gosh.
Like chills.
Yeah, because at that time, really, no one knew who anything were, and once you move into season 2, there's a lot they don't even know who Vader is. No one knows who Vader is, and then they get there and they're like, who the heck was that? Because I think Vader, Vader like holds back the ghost or something like that. I forget what because like Vader like holds him back, like holds some shit back, and they're like, what the heck? Who the heck is this guy?
Wait. Oh, it was that when he was like Kanan and Ezra were like fighting him, and then like that thing fell down. Yeah,
yes.
And then he's just like, that scene was cool, and he just drops down just.
I like when he comes down on that TIE fighter and he's just standing on it and the light like blares.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's so menacing.
Have the high ground. Literally.
Yeah, that's Anakin Skywalker for you.
I love Vader in Rebels.
Yeah.
Like, I love him. Besides the Rogue One scene with Vader, that's my favorite Vader scenes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the moment when Vader like throws Ezra against the wall in the earlier duel. He's like, your master has deceived you, and you become like a Jedi. And he's about to kill Ezra, and like Kanan steps in, and, like starts slashing at him.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, what's interesting is Vader's design, because a lot of people gripe on the design of Rebels. I don't get it.
Me
Like,
neither.
My husband hates it, like more than anything.
Really?
Yeah, he'll watch the whole show with me, but he'll just gripe about the animation the entire time. So I know people despise it. Like, can't stand it. It'll make them not watch the show.
I get so many comments on my videos saying like, "Why you like Rebels? The animation's terrible." I'm like, stop.
I don't think it's terrible. It's more simple than Clone Wars. It costs a fraction to produce than Clone Wars. It's very different. I mean, I didn't mind the animation. The only one I didn't like is I didn't think Yoda looked very Yoda-like. But besides that, I think everybody else was pretty good.
Yeah. I would say the only problem I have with Anakin, I thought Anakin looked a little weird, but that
Yeah,
was it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that was the only issue I
agree.
had.
Yeah, I agree with that
But
one
it's-
too.
Yeah.
But it's still like there's so many things in Star Wars, especially in like
I mean, you got
early
Leia,
prequels.
Lando, all
Oh
these
my-
fun episodes with
Yeah.
everybody
Oh
in it.
yeah.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah. Like all the cameos are so good.
Oh, especially in
We
season
see-
2. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And Hondo, tons of Hondo.
Hondo.
Oh my
I
god.
love.
I mean,
Hondo is so
yeah, we love
funny.
him.
I love him.
I love that Hondo's almost like a protagonist in Rebels,
Yes.
which is something like we don't see a lot. But like Hondo, like especially in the last, I know I'm jumping really far ahead, but the last battle of season 4, Hondo like
Yeah.
flips out a freaking.
I know.
ton.
Right before the season finale, when Hera's like talking to them in that walker, and Honda's like, Hera, for that boy, I'll do anything for him. Like, it's just the connection with Hondo and Ezra is just, it's
Yeah.
so funny, but it's so good at the same time.
I love how much like Kanan and Hera don't like whoever Ezra chooses to hang out with because he always hangs out with like scum and villainy, and he don't care. That's one of the one things I love about Ezra. He's not gonna be a typical like Jedi or anything like that. I think he's gonna be rugged and just different.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe
think.
a little bit of like, have you read Master and Apprentice?
Oh yeah.
You have you, Reagan?
No, I need to read that.
Okay. Almost like a young Rael Averos.
So Rael Averos is one of my favorite Jedi like of all time. I think he is amazing. That book is amazing. I can go on and
Yeah.
on about that. And Rael is great. And so I would compare that. Thanks for making that statement. I would think that Ezra would end up more like Rael over
Yeah.
like Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan
Oh, for
or
sure.
something like that.
Yeah, yes. And Reagan, Rael Averos is Dooku's other apprentice.
Wait, he had another
So not-
apprentice?
Yeah, too.
And
What?
he's like
know, right?
a saber master. He's like a swordsman.
Well, my
master.
mind was blown. I did not know that.
And
Yeah,
he
but
dresses like he's homeless.
It's
Like he
amazing.
dresses like a bum.
He'll
He doesn't-
Yeah,
live
that.
in,
Yep.
he'll live like in like the like throughout Master and Apprentice. He's living in like a giant glorious palace, and he's still dressing like
And he smokes and he
on the
drinks
street.
and he has ladies over at night, you know.
Yes.
Aw,
It's a great
that-
novel.
Brooke. Brooke in the chat says, I would argue that Kanan is a lot like Rael too.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Kanan.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
new Dawn
for
Kanan,
Yes.
a new Dawn Kanan. Oh my god.
A new Don Kanan is
He's so
He's
young
interesting.
there.
different.
He's so young and alive and
It's so funny how Hera grounds him in
yeah.
that book because he's like acting like he's this big hot shot who doesn't care about anyone. Which Hereth, I know you haven't read
I
it.
haven't read it. You guys can
But
go ahead.
Hereth is an actual hot shot and it's so funny.
It's so
It's-
funny.
It's funny.
The one scene that I love from there is they were talking at a bar or at cantina, and then Kanan like walks outside and Hera's like beating the crap out of 3 stormtroopers at the same time. And then Kanan's just like standing there watching in awe as she's like smoking these guys. It's hilarious. But yeah, I would definitely argue that Kanan's a lot like Rael too. Rael's quite the guy.
And that's why I think Ezra's going to take after like Kanan, and he wasn't raised in like the temple or by all the other masters. So I think he's going to lean more that way. And Rael was like that because he entered the Jedi so late, just like Anakin. He came in so late, and Ezra
But no-
came in so late.
I saw this the other like a couple like weeks or months ago, but like it was hair. I know I'm jumping, but like it was like season 3 hairstyles for Ezra, and one of the hairstyles was Kanan's iconic ponytail and everything that looked exactly like him. I was like, oh my gosh! And then
I've
there was a
seen
buzz
that.
cut. Yes, and then there was a buzz cut one, and I'm just like. There's so many different hairstyles for Ezra for season 3, but the one with the ponytail, just like Kanan, was just
I hope that
Yes.
they have his hair like that when he's in live action in the Ahsoka show.
Yes.
I hope he has his hair like Kanan in a ponytail.
That'd be so cute.
I feel like in Ahsoka he's gonna have a beard. I just have a feeling.
I think so too.
He's
for
gonna
sure.
have a beard, and I'm
Yes.
gonna
He's gonna be all grown up and rugged.
No.
Not that. No.
Well, like a beard like Kanan, a nice beard.
Yeah, like a nice
not a
beard.
big icky
Yeah.
beard.
But I just know when we see older Ezra, I'm just gonna be like,
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna go nuts. It's gonna
it is
be.
over when we see old Ezra.
Like,
It's the whole internet will break. Ezra's home.
yeah, like Malik was saying earlier in Discord, like yes, the Kenobi show is going to be an event, but I feel like when Ezra comes back into live action or Star Wars period, that's gonna just destroy the fandom.
It is.
I think what's gonna be really awesome about that is we're gonna it's gonna get a lot of people to watch Rebels. I really do, because people aren't watching it because of the animation style, and it's like, just get over that. Just get over that,
Wow.
and you're gonna love it. Like I know I actually what my best friend. I watched like an episode or two of Rebels. I was like, oh, like this is, or maybe like half a season one. Like right when I first started watching it around a year ago, and I said, hey, like you should start to watch this. It's really not that bad. Trust me. And he was like, no, I don't want to. Starts watching it, gets over the animation style in like 3 episodes, and then it's like never looked back from there.
Yeah.
But when did you guys all get into Rebels? When it was releasing, or
Right when it released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really?
I have
Yeah.
Not the first
Oh,
year
how
because
was
I
it?
didn't actually have the channel. It was the second year, and then I caught the first season on reruns.
Okay. Huh.
I
Yeah.
saw it for the first time in season 1. In fact, and actually, Rebels got me into Star Wars. Like, I wouldn't be here without
Really?
Ooh, that's
Yes.
an interesting. That's an interesting
Okay.
story.
Yeah.
I don't think
Like,
I've
my-
ever heard that.
Yeah, my older brother, he was into like the Clone Wars and everything, but like I was really young when Clone Wars was around. I think I was like 7 or 8, and I was not into it. But like when I was like in like I think like 12 or 13, I was like into Disney Channel, Disney XD, and then I saw Rebels coming on Disney XD. I'm like, okay, this looks like a fun show, and then I started watching it and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks so good, and that's when I started watching Clone Wars and the movies, and yeah.
I was
That's-
really into the
that's really
prequels because the prequels released when I was a teenager, a late teenager, and so I got to go see it in the theater and stuff, and I really liked that. But you know, it was a long time ago, so I didn't watch a lot on TV. And then when Clone Wars came out, that's what really got me into just really into Star Wars, was Clone Wars specifically, and then Rebels right after that, and so forth.
Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's like really, really cool. It makes me
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people. I
Yeah.
never talked to anyone that has. Hereth, have you? I don't.
No, I've never talked to anybody that got into Star Wars through Rebels. Again, going back to like the whole like how did you get into Rebels? I have such a weird history. I think I've said this on Layflan like 2 or 3 times now, but I'll also say it again. How I got into Rebels was I was channel flipping on cable one night, and Twilight of the Apprentice was on, and I was like, oh my god, this is an incredible episode. I was like, and then I went back and watched all of Clone Wars season 1 through 6, and then watched all of Rebels.
Huh.
Oh.
So you got the whole entire backstory, because you're like, who is
Yeah.
that? And why is she fighting Darth
Who
Vader?
Yeah.
is that?
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I just randomly, I think it was just during quarantine, I was just like, huh, let's see what this is about. And then,
Just watched it
Took
during
off from there.
quarantine.
yeah, like I started becoming a Rebels fan.
Oh
Like,
my
Oh.
a year like I actually think my 1-year anniversary of watching Twilight of the Apprentice was the same night of when Ahsoka showed up in
Oh,
The Mandalorian.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
we like, I was gonna try to have it done, but I remember I was gonna like try to have it done by that episode, but then because like everyone kind of figured that the Jedi was gonna be Ahsoka, I was gonna try to finish all of Rebels by that episode, but then I got sidetracked, and then we just watched Twilight of the Apprentice. I was crying so hard.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's only been a little bit over a year.
Oh wow.
Probably not even since I finished it. I probably finished it January-ish. But what sucks is I got it spoiled.
Oh no.
How did you get spoiled?
Oh no.
I think just everything, just
You did
seeing
watch
this.
it kind of late, kind of
Yeah.
past spoiler time.
Yeah.
4 years.
But I didn't like, I don't know, I just never thought of it. I actually really didn't even get, like, because I was always a Star Wars fan since I was like 5, but I didn't really start getting into Star Wars until I was like 3 years ago probably, and then just watched Rebels. But anyway, that's...
I started out a Star Trek fan, and I didn't get into Star Wars till much later as well.
Ooh.
You weren't around for the Ahsoka Lives hype.
No.
Because Dave
Oh my
Filoni kept
gosh.
teasing if,
Oh my
if she
God.
was alive or
Oh,
not.
man,
That was the whole event.
Dave Filoni was a jerk when he did that.
Yeah, he came out in a shirt at Celebration that Ahsoka Lives ?
Yes. No, he was on a panel. No, it was the panel after season 2 for Rebels, and Ashley Eckstein was asking Dave Filoni, "So, am I making the Ahsoka Lives ? Or Ahsoka Lives ! T-shirts?" And Dave Filoni's like, "No, you got to make both." And then
He came out with the one with the
he
question
wore
mark.
both.
Yeah, and then he put on the one with the exclamation point later.
Yeah, it was a whole thing for like 5 minutes, just like Dave Filoni talking about, no, see, this would be a good thing because you got people believing that she thinks she's real, and some people are like, is she actually alive? Like,
When was this up? I didn't. Oh,
It was
see,
at
I
a-
missed
it was
so
at a-
much.
a-
Dang it.
Comic-Con panel, I think, or maybe a Disney
I
panel.
think the ones where he wore the shirts, I think was the season 4 panel for Rebels, and then for the one when he was asking Ashley Eckstein about Ashley was asking about the T-shirts, it was like the season 2 finale panel when they watched the panel with people.
I believe
Okay.
it was Celebration 2017.
Yeah,
That
it was
sounds
right.
right.
They were showing the season 4 trailer for Rebels, and like they were watching and stuff, and he was there.
Huh.
Speaking of
Yeah, I missed all of that hype.
Rebels hype,
Okay.
I sent this to Carter. The big hype moment I remember for Rebels was the trailer for Rebels season 3 when Thrawn shows up and everyone's freaking out.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh.
Man,
One of
I
the things
missed.
that I liked, that was one of my favorite like little things that they did, is at the end of season 3 when Ezra opens up the Sith holocron and the red light kind of goes up and you're like, oh my gosh, is he gonna
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, I
And
got
then
it.
the season 4 the first episode, this episode 1, how he like makes those guys like just walk
Oh my
off the
gosh.
cliff. And
Oh my
and
gosh.
Sabine's like, where'd you learn to do that? And when did Kanan teach you that? And he's like, he didn't. And you're like, oh my gosh, is Ezra
Is
dark
this
side
going
now?
dark
He was so dark in that episode. And I was just like,
I love
When he
it.
turns,
I loved
he
it.
turns the ATST, and just walks it off the cliff.
Yeah, he just
and he's just walking, just. Oh my god.
But yeah, let's get back to Ezra.
I mean, we're talking about him force pushing him off a cliff.
Yeah, and just like whoop.
But moving to Ezra season 2, we have some. I think this is where he's like, we start to see a lot more character development. I would say 2 to 3 is probably the biggest. But we'll just do the same thing. Like in the first half of season 2, are there any episodes or moments that stick out to you guys regarding him? We'll go to Reagan first.
Yeah, kind of like what Car's saying, like season 2 and also season 3, he really develops in this episode, especially for the first episode when Mr. Tua is like asking for help and everything, and everyone's like, why should we trust her? She's an Imperial. And Ezra's like, no, we have to help her because that's what we do. Help those who can't help themselves. What Hereth told him in season 1 and everything. And just like he's like trying to put on the light side and like trying to like help others in need and everything, and like also with like Rex and like and everything when Kanan's like saying like, I don't trust you and everything, and Ezra's like, we have to trust him, we have to work together and stuff, like you have to like, you gotta leave the past behind and stuff. Like he's just really developed and caring in this season and everything, and it really shows in the first half of season 2.
Yeah, especially in those episodes with the clones, because Kanan's really hit hard by
Yeah.
the clones, and
Yeah.
Ezra and Hera both are like really big parts in making sure that Kanan isn't being an idiot. And I'll get into this more whenever we get into season 3, and especially in the Trials of the Darksaber episode of season 3. But Ezra and Kanan build off of each other, and I think that's something that really makes their relationship unique, because I feel like what happens a lot of times, especially when we look at like prequel Jedi, because they are flawed, and there's a lot of things with the prequel Jedi, and we can probably make a whole episode about how the prequel Jedi. Well, we actually did. We have a whole episode on the on the flaws of the Jedi. But I think something that makes Kanan and Ezra really unique is that they're willing to listen to each other, and they're willing to not just Kanan's teaching Ezra stuff, but Ezra's also teaching Kanan a lot of things too, and they're bettering each other, which makes them both better people. As if a lot of times what happens is the master only teaches the Padawan. No, I think that's something that's really, really unique with those two, and especially helping Kanan get over that fear of the clones.
Yeah.
And Gray, same thing to you.
Are we on season 2?
Yeah, season 2.
Oh, I love the Princess Leia episode where his interactions with Princess Leia and how she talks to him about his loss of his parents and stuff like that. Which that was a big hurdle for him, finding out about his parents, how they had just, passed away, and I thought that was pretty heart-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like that's something that's going to carry on, and everything with his parents is such a big thing in Ezra's life. Obviously, I mean, the man lost his parents when he was 7 years old. And then seeing how he handles and talks about his parents in these early seasons compared to how he talks about his parents whenever we get further on it's like something that really highlights how much he's matured. And something, I think this could be its own category of itself in season 2, but Twilight of the Apprentice is like
Oh my god.
Man,
That
peak Star
one
Wars.
I have such a cool behind the scenes fact for this episode. I believe it was Samuel or saying this. I don't remember what con it was, but he was talking about how Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra, has never seen Star Wars when they were recording it, because Dave Filoni said you're not going to watch it because you're going to interpret it through Freddie Prinze Jr., who's the voice of Kanan. Like, this is how you're going to learn about the Force. So they didn't tell him that Sam Witwer was going to be in the show. So when Sam Witwer was like telling him about the dark side, like in between takes, Taylor Gray's like, I mean, he's not wrong. Like you should use your anger and passion towards the Force. Like, it makes logical sense. And Freddie Prinze like Jr.'s like, no, that is the dark side. And Sam Witwer's like, they're literally just Kanan and Ezra at this point, out of character.
Yes.
My dream is to get this signed by Taylor Gray.
I want to meet
That
Taylor
would be
Gray
great.
so much. Like,
Sorry.
I would sob if I would meet Taylor Gray. Like, I love you. You brought my favorite characters of life. I love you.
I'm really hoping he's gonna be at Celebration
Yeah.
this year, because oh my god, if he's there, I'm bringing the Ezra pop just in case. I'll probably bring all of the Ghost crew.
Yeah, it's
Just
just
in
like
case.
the whole gang's here.
Get them all signed. Oh, what I would do to get them all freaking signed.
Yes.
That'd be crazy. Because I don't think many people have the whole set, and then to have the whole set signed is like puts you
That would be
into a tier of your own. But no, that what Twilight of the Apprentice really does is it kicks off the relationship between Maul and Ezra, which we're going to see a lot more in season 3. But those episodes, that's peak Star Wars.
It really is.
I rewatch that all the time, the Twilight Apprentice arc.
Yeah.
I mean, I rewatch Rebels probably every year, about once a year, the whole entirety. But I'll watch the Twilight Apprentice and the World Between Worlds arcs like probably 4, 5, 6 times in a year.
Yeah. That's why I just rewatched them. I cannot wait to talk about them.
Yeah, and like this is like a crazy fact that I found about this is like regarding Kanan and everything. So when Freddie Prinze Jr. was like assigned to Kanan and stuff, he asked Dave Filoni like, "So when does my character die?" And Dave's like, "Whoa!" and like apparently Kanan was supposed to die instead of get blind in the Twilight of the Apprentice. So I was just like, okay,
What?
that would have gone. Yes, I've heard that.
Wait.
And I'm like, yes. He was supposed to die instead of get blinded and everything. And like I was like, oh my gosh, season 3 went through like a whole new direction if Kanan died like that. And Ezra would have just like went like off with revenge, like really blown dark side. Like
Oh my
Kanan
gosh.
dying is like one of the saddest, most well put scenes of anything
Oh my
I've ever
God.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
Freddie, you got your wish. You did.
No.
Hera's
Yeah, if-
scream when she yells Kanan is just heart-wrenching. Just
Yeah.
heart-wrenching.
But the most heart-wrenching thing about Kanan's death is whenever right when he dies is so sad, but then when they come back and Zeb, it gets me every time. And Zeb's like, "Hey guys,
Like,
where's
did y'all-
Kanan?"
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
they're just crying, and you're like, "Oh my god."
Oh.
Gonna
That was-
break
It was sad when they came back and they lost Ahsoka. How Rex was like, "Where's Ahsoka?"
Oh my
And
God,
then
that
they-
gets me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. And then like and then like Ezra's looking at him and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Rex is like, and then Ezra's just like, and then that's where it's like leading up to like him opening up that Sith holocron and stuff after
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, and imagine if Kanan were to have died in Twilight the Apprentice.
That would have changed
Ezra
everything.
would have went to the dark side.
He
Ezra would have went to the dark side.
blow dark
Oh, yeah.
side.
Because Ezra's even in season 4, Ezra's he's not like
He's always
He's not the-
teetered.
he's not a
always been,
clean-cut
like,
Jedi.
on
Yeah.
he's always been on like the edge of a sword, and you don't ever know which way he's going to tip the entire series.
Exactly.
yeah.
Eh.
And if Kanan wasn't there to be that factor that balanced it, then
Yeah.
Ezra's not he's not gonna be on the light side, let's be honest.
No.
Sure.
No.
I mean, he's been gone for a long time, probably away from Kanan with Thrawn. We don't know where he's going to stand when we see him next
Yeah.
anyway.
We'll get to that at the end because I'm so excited to freaking
Yeah.
talk about
I know. I'm sorry.
everything Ahsoka.
But
When
kind of move back.
when back
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think something that's interesting there is whenever we see Ezra fight Vader, the whole season we're seeing Ezra gain a lot of power, become a lot more skilled and everything, and we think Ezra is gonna be like he's like really, really powerful, and then he fights Vader and gets his lightsaber crushed in 3 seconds. It's just it's a really, really cool power dynamic, and Star Wars does a great job of this throughout all sorts of media. We see it whenever Din is fighting one dark trooper, and it takes him like 10 minutes to just cut down one of them, and then Luke comes in and destroys like 15 of them, and literally with no effort.
I like
But I-
how when Vader and Ezra, when he was battling him right there, what you were just talking about, when he says, "I'm not scared of you," and Vader was like, "Then you will die braver than most."
Yes.
Yeah, I think someone in the chat pointed that out earlier.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
Vader
really?
cuts off the lightsaber and he's like, "Perhaps I was wrong."
I'm just like ready to strike, and then Ahsoka comes in.
Oh,
That battle, I was like, oh.
that's the most heart pumping scene in like any Star Wars scenes when Ahsoka
It
goes out.
is.
Yeah,
And I,
that's
and like- oh.
When he says Ahsoka after she like slices off
Ahsoka,
part
and
of his
it's
helmet and she realizes that it's Anakin,
Yeah.
I just will start crying every time. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, just water will just pour out of my eyes.
It's-
I was like, man.
Oh my god.
Darth Man says just seeing Maul coming into Rebels was not only a treat, but some of the best character development in Star Wars. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Maul in Phantom Menace compared to Maul in Rebels and Clone Wars is two completely different things. maybe Grey Jedi. No Grey Jedi. Grey Jedi, no. Grey Jedi, no real. That's fake. Catching up with the chat. Vader versus Ahsoka. Kanan getting blinded in Maul. My God, Try the Apprentice is one of the best episodes of Star Wars ever. I agree. It's probably my favorite episode of Star Wars.
It really is.
I remember on Twitter, I was arguing with, not arguing, but I was actually disagreeing. Everyone was like, well, like, I love Twilight the Apprentice. I feel like people kind of overrate it in the Munch because like everyone's like, oh, Twilight the Apprentice. I'm like, come on, we got World Between Worlds.
So World Between Worlds is my personal.
I like
favorite.
that.
Yeah.
Jedi
Oh, the
Knight.
whole 3
Jedi
episodes
Knight,
of that.
finale.
Yeah, I like
Family reunion and farewell.
Yeah.
Those, I
Oh my
mean,
God.
there's some great episodes of Rebels, and honestly,
Very.
a lot of people like. I think there's some stuff in Rebels that like you could maybe skip over, maybe,
Oh, for sure.
but like
Yeah.
if part of the thing that makes it so special is that like we get these episodes that it's just the Ghost Crew doing Ghost Crew things, and seeing them all interact with each other is something that's really really special.
Yeah.
I don't believe in filler episodes. Everybody's always like,
Neither
oh,
do I.
Yeah.
Me,
It's a filler episode. It's like, no, that actually ties into this episode like 3 seasons
Yeah.
later. And they're like, well, this is a filler episode. No, actually, it's not. It's just not your favorite episode, so you're going to put it down. There's no
Yeah.
filler episodes in Rebels or Clone Wars. There's a point in all of them. And
Exactly.
Yeah, I think like the Mom
Yeah, it's all-
episode season 1 where like they steal the TIE fighter and it comes back into play in the season finale.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And Sabine's little bounty hunter friend
Comes
She's
back.
has
Yes.
the mohawk.
Yeah. Katsu.
comes back. Yeah, Katsu, thank you.
Is that her name? I was wondering.
Yeah.
what it was.
Katsu. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and like a part of every show is just seeing characters interact and grow, and like slowly seeing their character development grow. And like
Yeah.
I think Bad Batch was getting a lot of hate with that because stuff is starting, I feel like, to get hyped up so much that everyone's like, if it's not the season finale of Mando when Luke comes back every episode, then it's not good. It's all filler. It's like, no. No.
I've been rewatching Bad Batch, and every time I rewatch that series, it like climbs a spot. It might even take over Clone Wars and Rebels for my favorite Star Wars. I
Really?
love
Ooh.
Bad Batch so much, much, and I love it
If you ever
more
do
every
Bad
time I
Batch.
watch it.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
ever do Bad Batch episode, you have to come on.
For sure.
Yeah, I man, I
I'm
love
ready
it.
for. I'm ready for season 2, especially when I heard it's gonna take a few years after the finale. That's gonna be
Ooh.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
is? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard about.
Yeah, it is, and so the idea of Boba meeting his sister is I can't
Oh.
handle it. It has to happen.
I know.
Anyway, so I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That goes into what I was going with. That is people were like saying, oh, but that's a filler episode, and that's a filler, or like the Martez sisters on Clone Wars. I loved them. People didn't like them. I loved them. I thought they were great. I thought they fit in great, and I think they were in any way, shape, or form filler. I thought they did a great to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, back to Rebels.
Sorry.
No,
No,
you're great.
no.
No, you're good.
It's-
That was
The
really,
show's
really
super
good.
confrontational. Like sometimes you just get off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of throw it back.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
But I-
Definitely not a
But-
problem.
But I will say one thing. I know a lot of people didn't like the cameos in Bad Batch, but I'm kind of hoping for season 2, especially if it's going to take a few years after that finale. I'm crossing my fingers to see or hear Ezra Bridger's transmissions or parents, because I've always been interested
That
in
would be
Ezra's.
great.
I've been
Here's
so
some
interested.
FREM.
I would be because Ezra's parents always interest me. I would have loved to see more of them or anything. Even hear one of their transmissions or anything, how they did
Yeah.
it. I was just
would
to
love
see
that.
them. Yeah, and little baby Ezra, just right there.
That would be great. I would love that.
Yeah.
Some
Oh.
FREM Bridger. What a guy. Which is a trivia. That was there was some trivia contest
Yeah,
where that
it was
was.
in charge.
With the
Yeah.
questions.
It was charged trivia tournament.
Yeah, and I was like, I know this one. I know this trivia.
But no, the
Um,
Vati's also voiced by I'm blanking out his name. He's also voiced by D. Bradley Baker. So like,
Oh, I didn't
Who?
recognize that.
yeah,
Wait, who is?
Ezra's dad. He's voiced by D. Bradley Baker also.
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Because I heard when that episode when after Ezra finds out about his parents and he's looking off into the distance and his parents come by, I
Yeah,
hear his dad's talking. I'm like, why does that voice sound so familiar? And I look at the cast. I'm like, oh, that's D. Oh.
Huh.
They have a lot of them that do the same voices. Like on Clone Wars,
Yeah.
the person who does Obi-Wan does Plo Koon.
Yeah, I love James Earl Taylor.
Yeah.
He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite voice actors ever.
Like Corey Burton does Zero the Hutt and Count Dooku and Cad Bane.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Zero the Hutt and Cad Bane are the same voice actor?
And
That's
Dooku.
amazing.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow. Corey Burton.
I love Zero. I know people knock that character. He's my favorite Hutt.
The Hudson Book of Boba.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, even Freddie Prinze, such a great voice actor, who's such a big time person who they got, and like when going back to like the animation style and everything, is it did cut some costs, but it allowed them to get someone like D. Bradley Baker on board, and he completely changed Kanan's character.
Yes.
Oh, the one rant by him is so good. Do you guys know what rant I'm talking about?
How did he change Conan's character? D. Bradley
No, I'm
Baker?
just saying like. No, I was saying Freddie Prinze.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, because I like he just portrayed him so well.
He did.
No, his rant whenever he goes on, he's on like one podcast and he just pops off for like.
I
5
don't like
minutes.
that rant. I
Really?
don't like that rant.
Oh,
No,
really?
I do not. Is it the one where he drops the F-bomb all the time and he's yelling about
Yeah.
the force?
Yeah.
I actually don't like it. It took me out of my love for him as Kanan and made me think he was kind of a
Really?
D-bag.
Oh.
Yeah, I did
Huh.
not enjoy that at all.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, he does get pretty aggressive.
He
It was a
gets,
little too aggressive for my taste.
I get where he's coming from though. Like I agree. Like his end point of like Star Wars is for kids and will forever be for kids. Like you guys should like stop getting pissed off at like really little things.
But he was swearing
Every 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's swearing talking about it.
he's
so much
swearing.
for kids.
for kids.
Yeah.
It's for effing kids. It's like, come on, man.
It's for
So I think that's what I didn't like about it. If it was supposed to be seen like it was more tonally for adults, that would be different. But Kanan is, and I love that Star Wars is for kids. That's what keeps me watching it. If I want to watch something more rough and something like Game of Thrones, then I'll go watch something like that. I like Star Wars because I can watch it when my kid's around. It can be on any time. And that's what's one of my things that I love about Star Wars. So I personally don't want rated R Star Wars or anything like that.
I agree.
just
Yeah, everyone's like, I want to rated R Vader. It's like
I don't.
Why?
I think Vader is Vader is like the best bad guy. He's not even rated R, and he's terrifying.
yeah.
yeah.
And honestly, we don't need more Vader. We have like 3 different comic
Mhm.
runs. We have 6 movies. Like we don't.
And we're gonna get more Vader and Obi-Wan
Like,
already.
It's like-
So
Yeah.
Like we don't need a Vader solo series or movie. Like we have enough Vader.
Yeah. Brooke says the voice of Grievous is also
Yeah.
voices the battle droids, and he's Bib Fortuna in the prequels and at the end of Mando.
He's
that's
also,
great. That is so cool.
He's also-
That's nice
Yeah,
to
it's
know.
really cool.
he's
I
also-
love that.
He's also the sound designer for all the prequels, the sequels, Rebels and Clone Wars and Fallen Order.
Yes, he is.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yes.
Grievous is
really
one of
cool.
my favorite Star Wars characters, but I love droids just in general.
Oh my gosh, the droid.
I,
The droids are rebels. We're just-
That one droid Rebels where they find
Yes.
the little he's
final
on
battle, I
the
think it's
cargo
called.
ship.
AP5.
AP5.
Oh
AP5.
my
Okay, so we got to give AP5 some credit here for being one of the best droids.
He needs to award me a musical award for his singing out in space.
Yeah, and especially when he makes fun of Zeb for letting that one battle droid into the place because he thought it was like
Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
Well,
I
when
am
he-
free.
Yeah.
and then here comes the ghost ship. He's like, no, go away. I was so happy.
And how him and Chopper just fight all the time. I can't, man.
And
Those
he's
are
just-
the best duo. I find that to be the best duo of the droid duos.
Yes.
I feel like that to be like an underrated episode is the episode where like Chopper gets hijacked by the Empire and like AP5 is like,
Yes!
no, he is like hijacked. Like you
No,
guys are not
he is
believing me.
It's Wedge. Isn't it Wedge Antilles?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I finally got
Yes.
this cool solo mission. Now he's like, oh, now I know.
No,
why you guys gave
that
me
beginning part with Wedge and AP5 and Chopper, and then like it's that scene right there, and AP's like, anything you can do, I can do better. And they're
Yeah.
going back and forth.
No, you can't. Yes, I can.
No, you can't. Oh my God.
And he's like, now I know why I got this mission.
Nobody else wanted it.
And then like I love how Wedge is like, I have to go up to go use the refresher, and he goes to the refresher, and like AP5 goes in there. He's like, look, he is the traitor. And he's like, dude, I'm using the refresher. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
That episode felt like a full musical, especially for that Imperial guy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? That's controlling Chopper and everything.
Yeah.
He voices Olaf. It was that guy,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
just.
I forgot about
I
that.
was like, wait a minute, that's Olaf. Oh my God.
Was it really Olaf?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was Josh. He
It
voiced
was
that
Josh
character.
Gad for real?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That makes it even better.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
glad to know that.
And then
Oh, it's such a good.
Wedge is Nathan Drake. Or Nathan Drake. What was his name? I think Nathan Drake.
Oh, what's his?
Freddie
oh.
from iCarly. From why I forget the actor's name.
Yes. Oh my God.
Great.
Oh.
That's great.
But yeah, kind of like moving into like season 3 of Rebels, it's like Ezra is like already talked about like how like with him the holocron and like him like stepping into the dark side and like obviously Kanan dealing with him becoming blind to the
Yeah.
Bendu and that kind of story stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. Ezra's massive growth spurt from 5'4" to 5'9".
Did you know how Ahsoka felt when she saw him in a world between two worlds from the time when she like kicks him out and he's like this tall and then she sees him next, she's like, whoa, Ezra.
But yeah, Ezra season 3 is one of my all-time favorites because he really develops in this season and everything. And like, I kind of say this, I kind of like his dark side scenes. I don't know, it's just kind of cool
That's
to
my
me.
favorite part.
Yeah.
Yes,
About the
and
Ezra stuff, and that's what makes me so drawn to Ezra is
It's-
because he teeters on that. We don't know
Yes.
what's going to happen here.
especially for the first 2 episodes, and like when he's in his room talking with the holocron and everything, and he's just like so angry and stuff and everything. And I always wish this for like between season 2 and 3 of Rebels
Yeah.
is to like see like what that holocron or like what Ezra did during this time and everything, and also build his season 3 saber because
I agree.
I've been always interested in that and everything, and like what Ezra went through between those 6 months, which I still can't believe it was 6 months between
It
those
was 6 months.
seasons.
I thought it was like 8 months.
Yes. No.
Did you guys realize that the holocron and the Sith Temple from the Malachor arc was Ventress's voice?
Yes. It was so cool. Like, yes.
I love that.
Another cool behind the scenes fact with Rebels, I did not know until like recently that apparently in season 2 there was supposed to be a scene where the introduction to the Bendu was going to be completely different. It was going to be in season 2. It's going to be Ahsoka meeting the Bendu. That was that's actually a canon
yes.
scene.
I saw a picture of that. I
Yes.
thought that maybe meant she just had met him at some point. They just didn't show it in the show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
canon to the show. It's Dave Filoni was talking about it on Twitter. Yes, it's,
Yeah, and like someone dubbed it on like YouTube and everything, and like, yeah, it was really cool.
I forget the exact
Like-
dialogue, but it's something like about like her fate, like after because she
Yeah.
talks about Vader
Well-
and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Bendu's like death, like something be your fate and stuff. But yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but again, kind of moving back to season 3 with Ezra. Obviously, again, I just love how like they continue the arc with Maul, with like season 2 Maul, where he's just kind of like the weird uncle of the Ghost Crew, just randomly showing up and then just like appearing and
Just like, hi.
hi, how's it going? I love how he's like the bed. He's like Ezra like goes to the bed. And he's like, "Is that actually Maul?" He's like, "Yes, he's behind you."
And like how he keeps trying to turn Ezra every time he's with him and stuff. Like when he's like in that third episode in Rebels and everything, like when they're opening up the Sith holocron, he's trying to like kill the others and stuff and everything. Yeah. And then like when they're in that episode Vision and Voices, Dathomir, I forgot the plan's name.
The Dathomir episode, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, "No, leave them. You gotta come with me. Leave your friends to be spirited by these things. Just like come with me." He was really desperate and everything, especially like he saw like the power that Ezra hold and everything, and like, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good episode with him as well. So we're talking about Ezra and Maul's relationship.
His mic.
Your mic's unplugged.
Mike.
Oh, you're back.
There we go.
I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry about that. My internet kind of dropped, but Ezra season 3.
Yeah.
I think one thing to note in season 3, well, obviously we get introduced to Thrawn, and Thrawn is so freaking cool. But one thing to note is that his lightsaber gets destroyed in the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And in season 3, he comes up with his new lightsaber, and I think the lightsaber is really symbolic to how Ezra is changing as a person, because the old lightsaber is kind of this fun, little gimmicky lightsaber, which is really, really cool, but it's kind of how he is too. He's kind of more of a fun, loving character. Well, maybe not like fun, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's more rambunctious than he is kind of going forward, because I think there's a big jump in Ezra between season 2 and season 3, but that lightsaber really represents him as being this, not like, you know what I mean, like this immature, I guess would be kind of a good way to put it, not to say the blast, you know what I mean. But then going into season 3, he has a standard lightsaber, and it shows that he's developing with the Force and he's growing with the Force. But yeah, I think we see the biggest jump from Ezra from season 2 to season 3, and the introduction of him in season 3, you're like, what the heck? And he starts like killing everyone in that the Ezra hallway scene. Everyone talks about the Vader and the hallway scene.
I love that
Ezra
hallway scene.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, and Honda's like, "Is that really Ezra?" And Sabine's like, "Most of the time." Oh.
Yeah, that's everyone talks about those two, but don't sleep on the Ezra one.
But no, when I first like saw the season 3 trailer for Rebels and everything, and everyone like had like kind of like a not growth spurt, change. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but like new appearances and everything. And when I first saw Ezra, I was like, oh my gosh. And then like seeing that first part, like that hallway scene was the first part of the trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, this like kid is like insane and everything, and just like how much he's developed and like the power he has grown and everything. And I'm still not over his growth spurt. I don't know what happened. He just had the most growth spurt. Like, he's up to Hera now. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he's probably eating his Flintstone gummies.
He goes from like 5'4" to like 5'9", apparently, Reagan was saying.
Yes, because like in that scene with like that first episode when like and they're like discussing about like the ships and everything, when Ezra's right next to Hera, he's right to her head, and Hera's 5'9". So I was just like, oh my gosh, this kid has grown. Like, this is all
how big of a gap is there from 2 to 3?
6 months. I'm
still.
I have seen boys grow that much in 6-8 months. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Where in a matter of months they shoot up that much. It's crazy.
But even after that, I thought it would be like even more than like 6 months between like this season, because especially what happened and everything. And they're trying to build up like the rebel base and stuff. Like, you got all this. I was like, okay, it's probably been like 9 months or something like that, like somewhere like that. And then Dave was like, no, it's been 6 months. I'm like, what? So shocked.
I'm gonna say catch up with the comments real quick. AP5 is one of my favorite droids. AP and Chopper are like the
Yes.
R2 and C3PO of Rebels. That's like so true. It's Thrawn time. Tatooine episode is the best of that season. Why is Carter not in the Ezra episode? Carter's internet got timed out. From season 3 onwards, this turns into a Thrawn episode.
We already had one.
No, but we do have a Thrawn episode. If you guys would like to go watch it,
We don't talk
we
about
have a
ascendancy,
Thrawn
though.
episode.
We don't.
We did not talk ascendancy, but we did talk about
This is
It's a-
Bridger.
Mr. Bridger.
This is Mr. Bridger, and he is only 8 months old.
Holy crap, he's a big boy.
I love
love
him.
that.
Aww.
I was trying so hard to get my mom to name my cat Hera, but she
Oh.
said no. Mr.
Aw.
Bridger, that is like the best name ever. That's
That
such
is
Right? I think it's great. His name's Mr.
Aw.
Bridger.
yes. But no, in season 3 of Rebels, obviously we get Thrawn introduced, which had to be so hype. I couldn't imagine with everything in Legends that like Thrawn was hyped up to, and then for him to finally get revealed in canon, wow, that's crazy. I think going back to what I was talking about earlier with Ezra and Kanan helping each other, we see that a lot in the Darksaber episodes, which are so cool. And Ezra has a jetpack in one of them, right?
It's
Yeah.
in season
think,
4
right?
that he has the
That's
jetpack,
season
and
4.
And he's like flying
Yeah.
all over the place
And
and,
then-
falling and hitting the ground.
then like
Yes.
Ezra's trying to adjust the jetpack, and Sabine's like, "I'm sure you'll get it on the fly." And then Chopper's like, "Oh, you get it, fly." And then Ezra's like, "Yes, Chopper, I get it, Chopper."
Oh, wait, is that whenever they visit early season
Yeah.
4? Whenever they visit the Mandalorians again?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when he
Right.
first has his jetpack, and then he's just like, "Ah!"
Because they're gonna rescue Sabine's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene when
He
he
was being-
beats Sabine's dad.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm with her. I mean, I'm not with her. I'm just friends with her." Oh.
That's funny. But I think the main person in Ezra's life in season 3 is Maul. Because
Yeah.
or at least for a good chunk of it, because Maul is like, he's like the weird uncle that's like trying to like push him to get to
I
do
said that
stuff.
earlier.
And Ezra's like,
You
no.
You said that earlier too. Like, hi.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Yes. He was like, "Here comes Maul."
The weird uncle's back.
Yeah. My apprentice.
I mean,
Gets-
if Maul wasn't in that, we wouldn't have seen the awesome Obi-Wan defeating Maul.
Oh.
Lightsaber
So
duel in Star
good,
Wars.
so
Oh,
good.
lots of
Yeah.
questions.
What'd you say?
I said the best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars. I will not be taking any other questions.
I don't know if it's the best duel in Star Wars, but it's definitely up there.
But like he was thinking, like, because especially for that moment, it looked like, I don't know, it kind of looked like that scene that Maul was trying to use that the same way he killed Qui-Gon Jinn, but like Obi-Wan
Yeah.
seen it firsthand, and he was like blocking, and he did what Maul was gonna do, like he did with his master and stuff.
Yeah, he completely fools him because he's like, he takes Qui-Gon's stance, and Maul thinks, I'm gonna defeat him the same way I defeat Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And then I forget the whole rundown. We talked about this in one of our lightsaber episodes.
Because
I
he
forget
did the
whole
same
rundown.
move that
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
He did the same move to
killed
defeat
Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan
Qui-Gon.
has, of course, thought that through, I'm sure, a million
Many.
times.
Yeah.
Yes. Master
Yeah.
Euro says probably the most symbolic duel. Definitely up there. I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then-
And then the talk with him and Ezra was just really cool to see too.
Yes.
And then I love kind of going back to like Ezra and Twin Sons. I love how like when Obi-Wan finally finds Ezra and they're talking, and he goes, well, how did they get back to Tatooine? Who let you here? He goes, Maul did. He goes, he used your desires and wants against you.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love that whole conversation with like, Ezra and Obi-Wan because like it's so true.
It is
Ezra
true.
and the Emperor at the end was a great scene.
Oh.
And
Oh
when-
my god.
When he was getting held up by the force pikes, and he was screaming. It was just like Rey when Snoke was holding her.
Yes,
And then like when he grabs all those rocks and just plows over. I mean, and then just the Emperor was so deceiving and creepy in there. He looks like this happy little grandpa, you know, and then he's like, and the gidgety sound that they used to switch all that over.
Yes.
And the piece of the temple being in, I think that part of that episode is such a big deal, and it's kind of glanced over, I think, or glossed over a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest scenes in Ezra's character development is him, which we'll get into more. I mean, you could just start talking about season 4 now, but because a lot of Ezra, like, that's a big part of Ezra's life is his parents, and he wants to meet his parents, wants to meet his parents, but in that moment he finally realizes they're not here. I can't do anything to stop it. And how does he learn that? From Kanan. Finally, whenever
one last lesson.
I don't know. We can just jump to season 4. Yeah. Because whenever Kanan dies and everything with the World Between Worlds, Ahsoka's like, you can't save him. If you were to save Kanan, then we would all be killed.
You have to let him go.
And that's Ezra's still a bit he's still a bit like weary on that, but then finally like everything clicks whenever he's like, no, I can't take my parents. My parents are gone. And he says, he's like, you guys will always be a part of me, but I have to let you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
think kind of going back to the World Between Worlds, I always think of the line that Ahsoka says to Ezra, and it's like, he goes, you can't save your master like I can't save my master.
Oh, that's a heartbreaking one.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking one.
And then you get
anything about Anakin is so heartbreaking to me. The whole Anakin Vader story, it's heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
So Ahsoka is part of that.
Yeah. And something I want to add to for like these last few episodes in season 4, I recently had this comment from like my recent Ezra edit, and I really thought about this too. These last couple episodes in season 4 were basically Ezra's trials for like him being a Jedi and stuff. And you really see that like him letting, and it kind of, I don't know, I always think about that now ever since I saw that comment. And I'm like, it's like when he's letting go of his parents and Kanan and stuff, he's sacrificing himself, a hard decision to leave his family, but to protect his planet and his loved ones and all that. It's just...
I love that. I never thought of it that way, that being his trials. How perfect is that?
Yeah, that is like perfect.
I love how throughout season 3, they kept putting focus on, you can't go back to Lothal. There are so many other systems that need us. Like, Mon Mothma is like basically just telling Ezra, you can't go back to Lothal. And then the entirety of the second half and the final episodes are just entirely on Lothal.
And then he's like, I'm going back and I'm going to stay.
Yeah, he was determined because you really see that in like how his parents, like how much his parents inspired him, but also the Ghost Crew. Like he wants to help his people like his parents did for like Lothal and everything, and like help the galaxy and stuff have that hope and freedom and everything.
Yeah, and Reagan, your one edit because it flashes from Saw Gerrera and he says, "What would you do to save your people?" And this was like sitting there. He's like, "Huh, what would I do?"
And then
he does in season at the end, it's like that is like the ultimate sacrifice. It brings everything, every single lesson that he's learned from Kanan, every lesson that he's learned from Hera, and all the Ghost Crew, and just puts it all together.
I like when he's like
Ezra,
one last lesson. That line is just...
Yeah.
I know. And just... Oh my god.
And Rebels, it ended beautifully. It ended so beautifully.
And with that portrait that's being painted,
and the city being all white and ethereal, like Ezra's dream, just like Ezra's vision, not just vision. And everything about it, so perfect.
Yeah, it's so perfect how they're like, the Imperials just don't come back anymore because they already wasted enough resources, and it's like, dang.
I love.
Right after that was the whole original Star Wars series, right? Like right after that, they took on the Death Star and the Emperor and Vader. So there really wasn't anybody to go back to Lothal.
Yeah. But when there's, have you guys read Thrawn?
I've read all Thrawn.
Yes, I read the first
let's
one.
go! I was so scared to talk about that. I was
Wait, have
holding
you read?
back.
Have you, Reagan? Have you read Treason, the third one?
I don't think I've read. No, I haven't read Treason yet.
That's
I'm
the
on
one
it for the
I'm-
second
You
time
can,
around.
you can still
It's
talk
the-
about it because I think I've been spoiled. No, y'all can
No.
no.
Hold on. It's worth
No.
it.
The best
talk
one.
about
The
it.
third one.
It's the best one.
The third one's the best one because it. Not to spoil it too much, but you learn this in the first few chapters. So, Ezra basically, not Ezra, Thrawn. Jeez. So this is whenever Thrawn leaves mid season 4.
It's the scene with Tarkin when he's like, you must go back and forth on Director Krennic.
Oh.
Yeah. So what happens is whenever Krennic, when Price kills Kanan, it literally makes no sense.
But that's where Thrawn is. He's talking to Krennic and the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why Price was left alone.
Yes. Price
And that was
screws
in-
everything up.
She's such a. You know what?
If it wasn't
I hate
Have you
for
guys
Price,
heard- Oh,
Kanan,
she was in the Thrawn's comic series. If you guys don't like her in
Yes.
Rebels, you should watch. You should read
Yeah.
the Thrawn comic series. Price is
Jeez.
Yeah.
she's
Ew.
awful.
When everything with
Oh, you
Price,
love to hate her.
Hate her.
everything with Price mining and
Yeah.
everything in the first Thrawn book,
And how
she's
she-
just like just betrays
awful.
her family. Yeah, she's so awful. And
Yeah, she
She's
like
betrayed all of her
awful.
friends and family in the comic series to get where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
horrible.
and her killing Kanan does no one good.
Well, it
Literally,
actually
all it does is screw up.
Yeah, it screwed up everything.
But it made it so
Screws
they
up the
freed
TIE Defender program.
Lothal.
Yep.
Like, you don't even know if they would have freed Lothal if Kanan would have survived. It seems like that was meant
True.
to happen almost.
Yeah. And like he
It's
knew
just-
that
it's-
too, and he
Mhm.
knew that too, and everything. When he was going back to save Hera and everything, the Loaf Wolf stopped him, and then he was like, "Doom," and he was like, "I understand. What must I
So
do?"
he knew
and
he was
that's
going
what-
to die.
He was gonna, and especially for that scene when they're about to go on the glider, Kanan. It felt like Kanan wanted to tell Hera, like, "I'm gonna die." He's like, "Hera, I have something to
No.
tell you." Then Riku comes in and just
Yeah.
He was going to tell her.
Oh.
I know he was.
he was gonna tell her, and just like, why?
But yeah, kind of going back
Why?
to the Thrawn trilogy. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk in details, but like that entire fourth season gets really enhanced by Treason because it adds
Yes.
so much detail. We were like,
Yes.
oh, that's what Thrawn is doing during all of this.
Yeah, it's and then obviously at the end, whenever Thrawn and Ezra go off and they're
Go bye bye.
what? So
I liked how that tied into the Bendu's vision for Thrawn. He's like,
Mhm.
"You will be
Yes.
by many arms of purple or something."
Many arms surround
Yes.
you.
something like.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
just-
I love
So-
that.
yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about in season 4 before we get on to our predictions for
I kind of
what's
have.
going on with them?
I kind of have like two things. The first thing I don't think we haven't covered yet, but Ezra's connection to animals is just something
yeah.
that was something really, really cool, especially like with the Loaf Wolves and everything. Like that one episode with him and Sabine, and then like the Loaf Wolf kept following him and then bringing him back to the base, and like the connection he had and everything with them was just, it was so cool to see.
And with the Purgle, he had that connection with the Purgle.
yes.
And,
Yeah.
and those weird like cat things with the big teeth and things on that when Ezra and Sabine and Hera were all stuck on that like moon and they would come into the light. Remember when Ezra had that big
Oh,
guy that
yeah,
would
yeah,
come out
yeah.
of the
The
thing and
furnace.
almost kill the Grand Inquisitor, and that's that's the first time you saw the dark side coming out in him. And
Yeah.
I was really very interested by him because of that.
Yeah.
I don't like when somebody's
Yeah,
just
that's-
only good. I like some internal struggle, you know.
Yeah.
And then like in that scene in
That's-
season 1 when he's like trying to connect with the Loaf Cats and everything, like, no, I don't like this and everything, like, no. And then like in season 4 when they're spying for the TIE Defender and Ezra's like playing with the Loaf Cats and everything, it just really showed how much he developed as a person and like how connected he is to everything around him and stuff. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah. that's something we also don't get to see a lot, is someone that's like connected to animals.
He also
Who
has,
Ezra
yeah,
is.
that's my favorite thing
Yeah.
about Ezra is his connection with animals, and that he has premonitions. I think is a pretty cool thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, as that's definitely something that's really, really unique about him. I don't know how we didn't talk about that, because that's like one of the biggest things in it
Yeah.
with Ezra.
I know. And
But
yeah.
do you anything else in season 4?
Jason Sandula.
Oh.
Yeah.
The fact that Ezra doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I
He
know.
doesn't know.
Oh, when he comes back, he's gonna be like.
So
I
I would love to see something of him and Hera coming up in something. I mean, why introduce it at the end if there's nothing going to be done with that? Because I mean, that's like a little Kanan. There has to be something done.
I have a feeling that Ezra might train him and stuff, because like when he's sitting down, people point out like a thing by his like side and everything that looks like a lightsaber and stuff or something like that. Yeah, and I always think like that would be so cute, Ezra training Kanan's son. That would be so cute.
We know. Two things actually. Yeah, we know about the epilogue that it takes place after the Battle of Jakku, because Sabine was waiting until the Empire got fully destroyed, and then the other cool thing we know about the final epilogue is apparently it was Brooke that pointed out this on Twitter. Under Ahsoka's white cloak is her Mandalorian season 2 outfit. It's underneath her white cloak.
I didn't notice that.
I've drawn that picture repeatedly.
Oh my god!
A sweater under it. I didn't see it. I saw she had a skirt on and the shield's on her legs, but you can't see anything.
But like her pants and like her belt are very similar to Mando.
That makes sense now, because like in the Mandalorian, when she's asking about Thrawn and everything, why her and Sabine are not together, that's this is what I'm thinking. Like she's going there before she meets up with Sabine.
That's what I think too.
That's what, because I was like, where's Sabine? If she's looking for Thrawn, where's Sabine? And it makes sense now after saying that, and like, oh my god.
And then Hera, I love how they're like, oh, Hera fought at the Battle of Endor. I thought that was great little tie-in.
Yeah. And he wore oh man, what episode? He wore the outfit he wore to Endor in one of the Rebels episodes. I'm trying to remember. I think it was towards the finale he wore it and everything, or like something. He wore like the helmet and everything.
Yeah.
But, where was this is gonna bother me.
I don't remember that. I don't recall that.
No, he did. He either wore like the helmet or like the outfit itself. I don't know. It was. Dang it. Yeah. That's gonna bother
the
me.
epilogue, because he says it's time to bring Ezra home, and that just gets you so hyped for what we're gonna see in Ahsoka.
Oh my
God. Because I saw something that said like we're gonna see Sabine in every episode of Ahsoka.
Yeah,
we got
I don't know if that's true. I could see maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I think if they're together, they're traveling together. They pick each other up, and they're traveling together. I can see how Sabine would be in every single episode, but maybe not flashbacks and whatnot. But
yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's like, I know personally, out of all of the new stuff being released, I am so excited for Ahsoka the most. That's what I'm most excited for.
Me too, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. I need a trailer right now.
Yeah, because you're a big Ahsoka fan. You're a big Ahsoka fan too. Great. I mean,
yeah, she's amazing. I mean, honestly, if I saw Hera in anything live action, I would just start crying immediately.
Oh, me too.
I mean, just.
To be honest, Zeb in live action kind of scares me. I don't know why.
He would have to be terrifying.
So
big.
Like I will cry no matter. I will cry no matter what. But seeing Zeb in live action will just be kind of a little scary.
Yes.
I remember speculating about this. What I want for Hera is, obviously, I want them to kind of retool Rangers of the New Republic into a Hera show, and then you can have Iden Versio, and why am I forgetting his name? It's Bill Burr character in Mando season 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you can have. The
Ooh, I
three
would
of them.
rather have those Twi'leks from season 2 Mando than
Yeah.
Bill Burr's
I
character.
was gonna relate it to because
Mhm.
Iden Versio and Bill Burr's character both have the Operation Cinder. Hera's obviously with the New Republic at this moment,
Mhm.
so I think that it would be cool like to pair
Yeah.
those 3 characters together in a blender and have
Yeah.
them kind of go off of each other.
Yeah, I would think Hera's a pretty someone that's rumored pretty heavily in Rangers of the New Republic. That'll be really cool to see
I
her
mean,
in live
you could
action
even
there. If we're
see-
gonna see it, it's gonna be there.
Like Thane Kyrell and Ciena Reed.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh.
even say that. Don't even say that. Have you?
I mean, they
this in
are
Adventure of
around.
Lost Stars?
Ciena could possibly have given information and gotten out of prison, and they could be working again, or part of the
Have
rebel.
all you guys, Reagan, have you read Lost Stars?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's my
I would-
favorite Star Wars book.
If I saw Thane, I would cry.
Aw,
Okay.
if I see Anne Marie, I'm done.
No, oh, Jesus. Yeah, that I didn't even think about them for Rangers of the New Republic.
Well, they're
But the problem
around at
is,
that
she's
time.
not.
They're just at the end of the Battle of Jakku, so
But she's not. But she's not getting out of jail. I don't think.
why?
I don't know.
They can't
because-
keep all the Empire
I mean-
in jail. They have to have people.
I mean,
Everybody was
True.
employed by the Empire for the most part. The entire galaxy.
Gray, have
What are
you,
they going to do? Keep them all in jail?
have you read Alphabet Squadron at
she's-
all, or the first couple?
Yeah.
chapters? Yeah.
I didn't really get into it, but I've read every canon book. I'm full.
You've read every canon book.
every canon book. Yep, more than once.
Oh. Oh wow. Okay.
I
I've read.
need,
I've read
I-
17.
Yeah,
I need to catch up.
I read 12.
I throw them
I
on
don't know.
Audible when I'm cooking and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Jeez. I did not know that you read every book. That's
Every
pretty
single
impressive. I'm
one.
not gonna lie.
And I just got a new one that just came out a couple days ago for
Fallen
the
Star?
High Republic. But
Fallen Star.
Fallen Star, yeah. But I had to finish the second time around through the Thrawn because I'm doing a podcast for the new Thrawn book. So
Oh.
I haven't
Oh,
gotten there yet.
Oh.
That's Wednesday.
Where's it at?
Star Wars Santa.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be on Wednesday.
I
I'll,
And
But-
I would like to request a book. If y'all are since we're talking about Ezra and everything, I was really interested in Ezra's past, before he met the Ghost Crew, and I found this book called Ezra's Journal.
Ezra's Duel with Danger. Oh,
the journal where he writes everything before he meets the Ghost Crew. It was so cute and
How
everything.
cute is that?
It was
finally,
so
someone who's read them. I've been wanting to read them, and I
it
haven't
was-
found anyone who has read it.
Oh my god, I love that book so much. I found it and I was like, oh my gosh. And to see everything what he did before he met the Ghost Crew, it was so cute. And then he had names for the stormtroopers before Bucketheads, snow troopers. I forgot the other names, but it was so cute and everything. And the story of him and Bosk was so, oh my gosh, it was
I
so
love
good.
Bosk. I could
That was-
be
Ezra
happy to
with
see
Bosk?
Bosk anywhere.
He was with Bosk, and there's actually a book also that just goes with Ezra and Bosk, and it was really cool.
Is that-
Ezra was
I
Which one's
have that
Ezra's
book.
Duel with-
I haven't read it. It's upstairs in my kids' books.
Is that Ezra's Duel with Danger?
hold on. Wait, the book?
Yeah.
Wait. It's Ezra's journal and stuff. I don't know if but I know in his journal he meant this Bosk and everything, and how he met him, and he went on a mission with him through his perspective and everything.
Huh. Yeah, Ezra's journal.
that's
Yeah.
That's cool.
cool. I know.
And then he gives opinions on each of the Ghost Crew, and his page about Zeb was just, he was like, I hate this dude. He smells, he's mean, he's,
I know a great.
That's an episode we didn't touch on. Is when Zeb found his home planet. How wonderful that whole bit
Oh
was.
yeah.
yes. And Ezra was just there for him, and just, oh,
Yeah.
brothers. Oh, it was so cute.
We also didn't touch on like Ezra and Saw Gerrera's kind of relationship and like how
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a great. That's one of my favorite little arcs. Is the 2 episode with Ezra, Saw, and Sabine, and
Yes.
2 tubes, and they go and they get that giant kyber crystal and then blow it up. That is such a great little story in there.
Yeah, and then like he's in this like his appearance is like his Rogue One appearance and everything. It's just so cool.
Yeah, because it's
And that,
the same year. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
And I love Saw. I love Saw from Clone Wars. And then how, like, when he was taking that little egg from that little Geonosian soldier and he was being all mean to him.
Yes.
That actually drove me crazy. I'm like, Saw, you're awful.
Well, you know,
Stop it.
I know. And the Geonosis was trying. And the Geonosis was trying to draw like,
The
look,
Death
this is
Star.
like, the Death Star. Like, look, and he's like,
And he's
no,
like,
no, that
Yeah,
doesn't
I
help.
see your egg. It's like,
This
"That's not
doesn't
the
help.
egg."
This doesn't
Well,
help.
you know the egg. It came. Is it in Book of Boba Fett? I just talked about this with someone. That egg that's in those episodes is like in the Book of Boba Fett or something like that.
Well, I would
Like,
think that the egg
whoever's-
would have hatched into a queen and they were
Yeah,
gonna
that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
whoever. It's like someone. Oh my gosh, it's killing me. Someone said that egg is in like the thing that hatched from that egg is. Oh, I think it's the monster.
Monster.
Could be no. What is it? Oh my
but that's on
gosh.
Tatooine, not on.
I know something is there.
I know.
It's
Is
there.
it in Lords of the Sith? Ever heard about? Because like Vader wipes out the
No.
entire no sin, right? I know it's
No,
something related to that.
Someone mentioned it. It is killing me. It's in something. I forget what though. I forget what.
Also, I kind of headcanon that like Saw Gerrera is like he destroyed his lungs through Geonosis because like since the Empire wiped out the entire planet, the planet's atmosphere is like unstable. That's why like Kane and everyone was like wearing masks like to try to like survive. So I kind of like headcanon that he destroyed himself trying to use the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
That could definitely be true. But yeah, I think we covered almost everything.
Except for
To kind of close everything. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. So we'll go around as say just who are you, where can we find you, and then what are your predictions for Ezra and Ahsoka? And we'll go to Gray first.
The only time I got chosen first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just teasing you. I couldn't think of something to say, so I was like,
She had to think for a minute.
I'm Gray. Donna the Gray on TikTok. As far as predictions, I think that Ezra and Thrawn were whisked away to the outer reaches, and Thrawn is going to return to the Chiss Ascendancy.
Oh.
Because that was his entire goal from the beginning, by being left in the inner galaxy where the Empire could find him. He was exiled there, and so he to find out information, to find somebody who can help protect the Chiss Ascendancy, because the Chiss Ascendancy doesn't have any allies. Anyway, if he's being whisked away and taking from the Empire, he is going to go back to his home world.
Yeah. No, that's
And I
definitely,
think Ezra, so in his home world, is going to be attacked by the
Grisk.
The Grisk. And so I think Ezra is going to be helping save the Chiss Ascendancy from the Grisk, is my prediction. Ahsoka. And that's what she's going to find him doing. And then she'll eventually have to bring him home. And honestly, I don't know what would go on from there. I just was only thing I got is what I picture him doing when they find him.
Yeah. No, that's a really good prediction. I think that's definitely something that could happen. But no, Gray, thank you so much for coming on again. We really appreciate it. And Reagan, same thing to you.
I'm Reagan. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter, Reagan Bridger. And something I have a prediction for Ezra in Ahsoka is like how has he changed at all? Is he doubting himself in the Force and stuff and like all that and stuff and just something I would really love to see in Ahsoka is like a vision or like a ghost spirit of Kanan with Ezra at one point, like giving him guidance in some point. I just think that would be really cute to see. And yeah, kind of like what Grace said, something to do with the Chiss and like helping Thrawn and all that. And yeah.
I would cry, by the way,
Yeah.
if that happened.
And I would cry.
I would cry.
That's my number one. And also Ezra and Sabine to hug and like just when they all reunite, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be like
Some
For sure.
Eli Vanto and Ezra action.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Eli would be
yes.
there. I mean, Eli
Yeah.
is around at that time,
Yeah.
so if
Yeah.
I would imagine that Ezra would find the only person from his area, in the whole entire outer reaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. But no, thank you guys both. Thank you guys both for joining us. This was
Thanks
a
for
lot of
having
fun.
me.
Thanks for having
Of
us.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much. We'll definitely have to do more Rebels episodes, maybe like a Kanan episode or something next season, whatever.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
yes. I love Kanan.
But no, yeah, guys,
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of They Fly Now. Thanks to the chat. Let's shout them out real quick. Brooke, we got Star Wars Lawyer, Pods One Podcast, Master Euro, Char Char J, Kieran Barr, Four Into Black Darth Man, Xantos, Brian with the Beer, Jedi Smart, Cal Fourier, Ace Bronx, Jedi Connor. Yeah, thank you guys all for joining us. We really appreciate it. And next week, what are we talking about, Hereth?
Talking about Leia.
Oh, well, I'll have Bloodlines finished by then.
I'm probably gonna try to get both of the books done.
Oh man, Bloodline and Leia, Princess of Alderaan are amazing books. Amazing.
I got it right here. Working on it right
man.
now. So maybe I'll
Amilyn Holdo is so good in the Leia, Princess of Alderaan book.
okay. Well, I'm excited for next week. So thank you guys both for joining us, and we will see you guys next week talking about Leia. May the Force be with you.
Always.